It won't let me share my screen anymore. It only wants to.
Did you give permission when you first signed into Zoom to share, be able to share your screen, your information? If you might have to go into settings and do that.
All right, someone else.
Okay, I think I'm ready now, guys.
Hey.
We'll try. Okay, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if you can hear it. And so again, these are the fishing boats of the families, my students' families. And today we're getting ready to go out on our fishing boat. So you can. Are we hearing it this time?
Yep.
Okay, good. See, I'm dressed to stay warm. I also have my personal flotation device on, PFD, a pretend one. But you do want to be safe when you're going out to sea, and we are going out to sea. Okay. When I'm looking at these scales, I have these different fish. So if I look over on the left, I have a yellow fish and a blue fish. And so the yellow fish and the blue fish together are 6 pounds. And then this yellow fish is with the green fish together, and they're 7 pounds in the middle. I know. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit.
It is so awesome that you did the picture in picture.
Yeah, and what I wanted to do, so I can't see you guys. Once I start sharing the screen, I don't see you. But what I had wanted to do behind me is that gray tarp, and I thought about putting the bayfront and the boats behind me, but I didn't know how to get that in there. But also it comes back to the kids in the ocean and we're going out to sea. But right now it's working through the math problems. And I do a guess and check with them, but then I also show them a way to start thinking algebraically about this and start doing like a system of equations. And maybe it's, oh, there
Karen,
we go.
If you want to see you and your presentation, use a split screen. Do you know how to do that? Where you,
Let
you have two windows open.
If I want to see you and the presentation, do a split screen?
Yes. Or Penny, sorry, Penny. Because that way you can have two, have your screens side by side and you can see your students while you're presenting.
That would be nice.
Yes, it helps a lot. That's one of the first things we're going to teach our kids, because when they are working in their, we have Canvas that we're using this year. So when they're working in Canvas, we want them to see the presentation while they're working in their Canvas. So we're going to teach them split screen first.
Okay. And is that an option through the Zoom?
Well, are you on a Mac or what kind of device?
I'm on a PC.
Can you, so you just are going to open up two windows. So, and then make each window small, like half of your screen.
Even if I go and share my screen, I would still, like right now, I can see my video and I can see you. I have you guys kind of stacked over on the right.
Right.
Right. But when I go and share my screen, I don't see you. I only see my screen.
Right. That's why you have to have two screens open. And I have a Mac, and so I'm sorry that Stacy, do you know how to split? Isn't it just opening up two windows, pulling one out? Same with the Mac.
So if you pull from the far right side,
yeah, and
you can pull your like have half of your screen, have it fit in half of your screen. And you're just moving the whole Zoom meeting just into a smaller space on your screen?
Yeah, I have that now where I have two screens open.
Okay, and so
as
now
soon as if I went to share this though, or share my screen, I think I would lose you, but maybe not.
You have to minimize, so because it takes you to full screen, so you have to take yourself out of full screen.
In the Zoom. Setting.
For Zoom setting. So like in the Zoom, when you present, it takes you to full screen. So you'll have to take yourself out of full screen to be able to go two side by side.
So where would
it's okay. I think when I do it with my students, I'm going to stop sharing. But when I do it with my students, I'm going to have two computers, so I can see all of them on one computer, and then I'll have my other.
Have two devices. Yeah. That's the easiest way.
Mm-hmm.
That was really nice. Now you were talking about putting the picture of the boats behind you in the picture in picture.
Yeah, but the thing is that picture within a picture, that was from a Google Meeting record. I'm not sure that I would be able to,
Okay.
in that little video, edit within a Google Meeting video.
Right. You would have had to have, when it was filmed, you would have had to have it with something green behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could totally have your boats anywhere you wanted back there.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So Kara, do you have a video to show us? Uh-oh, you're muted. Oh, there you go. No, I think
Still
you're.
can't hear you, Kara.
Okay. I'm trying to, okay, it's exported to my photos on my computer, so I will play it on the computer now. I did medium because I wasn't sure how well my old Mac Mini would handle it. So I guess I need to share this. Wait, no. How do I get? All right, who knows how to get your stuff? Oh, sorry, it works so very different on an iPad.
Yes.
Oh, okay, there I am. I am on the computer. Okay, you just can't hear me. So this might be interesting. I guess I have to leave this one. Otherwise, we'll get that double microphone effect. Okay, so share screen. You're gonna see your guys' self for a minute. All right. It was there.
Okay. I have it there.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Is that big enough?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, ah!
Okay.
All right, I had trouble finding whatever. There's gonna be some blank pictures.
That's okay. You can fill it in when you find it.
So this is supposed to be you, our class, me, finding treasure.
Oh.
It's a little fast.
Trailers are.
There we go. And I promise not to turn you guys into zombies or skeletons. You'll get to draw a little bit of worksheets in the lab. All right.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Very nice. So how long did it take you?
Oh, well, just because I don't have I don't have a lot of chemistry pictures on my iPad, I had to pull in things and find group. So if you type science classroom, you get a bunch of little kids drawings. And I didn't want to use actual pictures of people. So it was really hard to find high school
Yes.
pictures. Finally, the New York Times had that drawing. If I had pictures, it was really fast.
Okay.
Like maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's the whole all my whole chemistry pictures are on my computer. And I did open, let me share I'm still sharing my screen. I could not figure out how to, someone else can go, but I could not figure out how to even couldn't really figure out how to get started. I got iPhoto open on my computer last night, but I couldn't see how to start. That's the App Store. They're just it's so easy to make the movies on iPad, and it's just not as easy to make them on the computer.
I agree 100%.
Okay. But, so while that's taking forever to open.
So I found that I made them on the iPad. I airdropped them into my computer.
Oh, okay.
Loaded them from my computer into YouTube.
Okay, well, this time actually, okay, this time I don't know why the trailer is showing up. Maybe I just couldn't figure out how to edit it or
So
import pictures or.
Which trailer are you in, like the superhero one, or because each one is really different?
So you can see I edited. No, you can see I actually typed in. It looks a little different. I have each program. This is an old 2012 program. So I typed in that part, but I couldn't figure out how to import pictures on the computer version. So I don't know which of these controls lets you import.
I can show you how to do it if you want.
Okay.
Night. Quick.
So
I'll share.
Yeah.
Sorry that it keeps wanting to play music. Oh, I need to stop sharing my screen so I can see how to do it. Okay.
All right.
So can you hear Jan okay? Well, you have to talk.
Yeah, just a second. I'm sharing. Okay, so I made a quick trailer and I used I think it was Adventure. So down here, I can't move my screen, there is your outline, and I didn't change a whole lot of that. The storyboard is where I started changing, which you had done too. So I put in my own text. I just used Bitmoji. The way that I pulled those in was to have I airdropped them to my phone, from my phone to the computer, and in downloads, just drug them from downloads into it. So it was just, I didn't have to go with anything over here. To get them from iMovie, over here in your library, you have photos that you can click on and find your photos here to click and drag into. That's how you get them in. Does that make sense, Kara?
I don't know. I guess I'll have to. I can't see my version.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's in library, but the easiest way to do like these little trailers to get them from my phone to here was just to put them into my downloads. They just airdropped them to download, and from download I drug them in. So I had this moved over and my downloads open.
Okay.
Does that, it was really quick and easy. When I tried to save these to my computer, some of them came in with a black background, which would be fine, but I wanted them to be white. So when I ran it, it looked like this. I have to put this filter down.
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back in.
All right, so did you see how, so I can try to bring one in to show you from my, let's see if I can get downloads up, just so I can show you. Can you see the download part? I can't tell what you can see. Okay, I can't see that part. Okay, hold on for a second. Let me try to share a different way so you can see both.
Yeah. Let me look.
All right. So here's my downloads over here, and here is my trailer. So if I wanted this, whatever picture, I'll go, let's see if I can find one. Sorry, I can't remember.
Okay.
Okay, so this one right here is this. So if I wanted it, I just clicked on this and drug it in. That's all I did. Does that help, Kara?
Sorry, Pat, difficulties. Yeah, I think so.
I think we lost her.
Yeah.
I see downloads and you just dragged them
I don't
in.
know if anybody can hear or not. I don't know who's on. I can't see.
Jacob, can you hear me?
Yeah, it helped.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
don't know why there's
Okay,
this
so does that make sense? So that was just how I did it from downloads, because my Bitmoji, there's a lot, it's a lot easier to find the Bitmojis you want from your phone than from your little app on your computer. So that's, and if you wanted to use Bitmojis, you would have to download them from your computer to your desktop anyway. But it just was easier to pull them into, to airdrop them to my computer and then drop them in this way. And the text I just put in like you did, Kara. This was quick and easy. Didn't take very long, other than trying to find the Bitmojis was the what took the longest to match it. So anyway, there we go.
Does anybody else have one to show? Jacob? You totally don't have to.
I didn't
Do you have
produce
one?
a trailer, but I did just mess around with using a blue tarp.
Okay.
To use as a green screen because I don't have the same stuff I had. So I'll show you guys what I just made. Okay, can you guys see this?
Yes. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So all I did was I just laid down, I've got the tarp right behind me. I just filmed myself and then I found an old video I had, and you can see because the tarp isn't, it's not very flat. You can see that there are kind of crinkles in the facade. But
did you do the editing where you could fix that a little bit?
So
I don't know. No, I haven't changed anything. What would I need to do?
awesome.
It's up in, hold on for a second. Let me see if I can find it on my screen. I'm going to minimize you. There's in Do Ink, it's really easy because you use this little tube, but up in iMovie, I think it's in effect. I have to play with it. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. And I don't have a green screen, so I don't know if it's going to let me play with it. It's saturation, if you can find it. If I don't have a green screen video up, I think it might be the 3 circles, the filter.
Ooh, that's not good.
I'm sorry, I just am not seeing. Do you see it on, do you have your green screen one up? I don't have a green screen one.
Jacob, I think if you click on the little over on the left where there's the wand, the next one that's on the right of that, yep, click there.
I-
And then you can see there's a little eraser for cleanup.
Ah, nice.
And I
Okay.
think you can spot around and clean those things.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
Good find. That is awesome.
That, and then there's also the saturation one where you can change the, if you can find it. I just don't have a green screen video that I can put up here to see. If you play around with those buttons across the top there, because you have the green screen one I see. Yeah, try that for now. Or the 3 circles, the one that's on the far right by the eye.
Uh-huh.
And then
This is a blue screen test.
we'll go back out of that because it's not that. I'll have to figure it out. I'll find it.
Certainly that eraser tool.
That worked well, but there's another one for saturations and I just can't figure out where it is. But
That's
that
okay.
works beautifully. So
I'm curious. I wonder if this softness.
that's it in there somewhere. It's a slider. I can't read. Everything's too green screen. Okay. Can you click back on whatever you were on before? Can you click on the green screen, the little 2 double boxes there for a minute? And then do you see what said the cleanup?
Yes.
There's that. So same thing. And then your softness will help it with that too.
Well, the softness sort of softens me out.
Right.
It looks like it has to do more with the edges.
Yeah, it softens those edges to make it so that it doesn't look like you're floating there, that you're actually in the movie.
Uh-huh.
And then the cleanup will help with those wrinkles, like she said.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is nuts. Oh, I love it. And I think this was super duper quick. I literally just threw this thing on the floor and then took a video. Like I didn't try at all. So if I wanted, what I would do, I think, is just try and make it as flat as possible by,
Absolutely.
stretching and tightening out the material. But
we also say that if you can put lighting between yourself and the screen, that really helps to avoid that line around you or that weird distortion, and it looks, where it makes the screen look like it's like you're just popped on there. If you have lighting between yourself and the screen, it'll help it look more natural.
And what do you mean by lighting between you and the screen?
So like a lamp, that if you can have a lamp behind you, I have some of those lights that have like an umbrella
Projecting onto me, would the light be projecting onto my back or up?
Onto the screen, coming from both sides if you can.
So it lights up behind you, so it makes it more naturally putting you in with the background.
So like the lamp would be pointed at the blue screen,
Yes.
not pointed at my back.
Right. So when you
Okay.
look at the picture you can kind of see how it looks like it's almost cut out and put on top of the movie. If you
Oh,
have-
yeah.
Well, yeah, but if it's so weird the difference that makes. Any
Okay.
light that you can to shine on the screen between you and the screen just kind of takes out that line between the picture of you and the movie.
So then
Okay.
when you have that softness to effect, then it really makes it look like you're there, not that you're floating there.
Yeah, not that I'm cut over it.
No,
Okay.
it's great. And you know what? None of my kids were bothered by that when they were making their own movies. They were thrilled to make their movies with green screen. We did it with the Do Ink app, not with iMovie, but I'm pretty stoked that iMovie has this added on to it. I just think that most of our iPads are too old to have this version of iMovie. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. We were on the cycle of replacing them, but with COVID, I'm sure there's going to be zero budget for replacing devices this year. Right back.
Well, no, this is fun. I was thinking, I've been out camping the last week, so I haven't had much chance to play with computers, but I was thinking, if we were going to do like an undersea, like science thing or talking about like the life cycle of a plant, like you could just plop up a picture or a video of, you know, if it was undersea, you could have a video that you pull off of YouTube of
Right.
fishes floating around, a school being in a school of fish. You just plop on a, you know, like scuba mask and do your little lesson that way. And it could be really, really, really fun, I think.
Habitats are great. Kids can be, you know, draw their own animals, put it in, do a habitat behind it, you know, all kinds of things. They can do math problems with green screen too. I mean, there's
And I
shapes.
bought some clear shower
Oh,
curtains with the intent of taping different things on so that in the background, I can pull that shower curtain and just pull whatever I tape to go across. Does that make sense? So like you could, or you can have string and then, what are those? Paper clips.
Mhm.
And you can just hang something on the paper clip, and when you wiggle the screen, that thing will come down. And I was thinking, like with Zoom meetings I would like to fire off some of those things every once in a while to see who's paying attention and keep track of what items they saw shoot across the room while I've taught during that time. And then have a prize for whoever got the most. But with it being clear, and then I'd have to play with the lighting to make sure that wasn't really reflective. But if it's clear, then you can be moving that back and forth with whatever you have stuck on there.
Kids use things like in my classes, straws from Starbucks are green, or used to be, you know, and so use them to tape things to so the straw isn't seen. So you can do little, you don't have to have a big green screen. You can have a pizza box where you have a green, you open it up and the background is green there, and you're using characters from a story that they have on little straws or whatever that they're moving across the green screen, and then build, you know, bring in their background. If you're doing the Little Red Riding Hood or Three Little Pigs, they could have their characters, you know, going across this little screen, you know, mini green screens. You can use Legos to build scenes for green screen as well. There's just, it's.
Ooh, I like that. The idea of a Lego like castle behind you.
Yeah, it just doesn't have to be a big setup. If you don't have a big setup, Stacy has this great green screen, but if you don't have the room or don't have the setup, you can do something small as well.
And you can send home like the bulletin board paper. If you just tore off a 3-foot piece or a 2-foot piece and rolled it up and had families pick it up, however you have your families getting any of the paper that they're getting for their schooling, if you send home a piece of that paper that they tape on their wall, then they can do group projects like collaborative work where each person has some part of the assignment. They all have that same green color background so that when you bring in their videos, you can just drop them in one at a time, put your transitions in between, and it will look like, they were all in the same place if you use the same background.
Oh, I like that. So
and they can share videos with each other too.
And collaborate with each other without you if they have iMovie access.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as a quick side question, do we know if there is a difference between using green screen or blue screen, like in the video quality? Or
I think it doesn't matter. It's just, you know, the typical is the green screen, but it's just the saturation is different. So you'll have just making sure if you're using blue screen, you're not wearing blue or you're going to disappear, just like if you're wearing green.
And the more I'm watching on how people use the blue screen, it seems to be when you want to have like grass in your video or something like outside. And so trees are green and grass is green. And so that's when I'm seeing people do the blue screen so that they can not lose all of their grass.
And I'm sure if I wanted to show underwater, I would use a green screen rather than a blue screen.
Right.
Okay, that makes total sense. If the thing that you're trying to project onto the screen is too close of a color, you use the opposite. Okay.
Right. So it's kind of like the weathermen that wear those green jackets.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah.
So with the iMovie, some of the features you have is you can speed up the video or you can slow down the video. So you can have kids, or you can do it too. You can create some of that stop motion kind of videoing. If they have Play-Doh or some kind of I just think of Play-Doh. I don't know, but where they could make make a creature or make something that goes with, whether they want a science video that explains about, you know, some science feature explains about gravity, and they could make their whole movie by having creating their main characters, their parts and pieces, their information. They can put text on there to explain what they're doing. You can teach them how to do the picture in picture. I find that every time there's something else I want to do to the video and I don't have any more choices of modifications, if I save it into photos and pull it back out, what I have becomes a video, and then I have all kinds of options again. I cut that video, you splice it, can put in transitions between the splices, can add text, which is what I ended up doing when I did the play, because there were just so many little features to it. So once I saved it all together as one movie itself, then I could go cut up and change it. Does that make sense?
There's a free app on your iPads called Stop Motion Studio, so they can make a stop motion video using that and then pull it into iMovie as well.
So do you guys want to download that right now or look at it right now, the stop motion video?
It's Stop Motion Studio.
Oh, sorry.
So it looks like this. Everybody see that? And it's free. We've used it a lot with kids. Our fourth graders did landforms, and they were doing volcanoes, and they just used construction paper to create a scene. Our kids got so creative. They created a scene where they were like in Mount St. Helens, when Mount St. Helens erupted, and they were living there. So they built their house, and they had their little people that they put in their stop motion out of construction paper. And, you know, every frame that they put in, they have to move it just a little tiny bit to get that effective stop motion effect. And then they had the volcano erupt, you know, they had the mountain, and then they had it erupting just a little bit at first, and then erupting more and more and more until it was the ash plumes were coming over. So it was just very interesting. They took what they learned in class, and then I was teaching a STEM class, so we did stop motion in that. It's on iPad.
Okay.
It's
So
free
there's
on
a
iPad. It's
free trial. There's a free trial for your computer.
On the iPad, it's free. I just downloaded it on mine. So I'm sure it's
Okay.
on the computer, it probably is different. But we used it just with the iPads, and we had old iPads, and it worked with stop motion.
And really, with your videos, you can make your video stop motion. If you wanted to make a video of a fork doing something or whatever, you can film it and then cut out extra places, and then just pick what piece, you know, what parts of your video you wanted to have in there as well. And all of the sound effects, I don't know if you've had a chance to play with sound effects. Did anybody play with the sound effects?
I played a little bit with the sound effects in the Phantom Toll Booth video, like there's an alarm that goes off, and then Milo or Mila is pressing a horn, and so I was able to put a car horn and things in.
Sweet. And it was easy, right?
Oh yeah, simple.
Yeah.
And then Stacy, I started to think a little bit when you were saying, when I put the closed caption in, that's pretty easy too, because if you don't get them in the right place, you can drag them. As
Right.
you're listening to the movie, you can put them in. So I felt like it took me, you know, a few minutes to just get accustomed to the different features, but then I could drag and put them where I needed to.
When I found that, like when I was trying on the play to be able to write exactly what the kids were saying, that I would have to cut the film, like splice it, and I didn't take anything out. I just cut it there, and then that allowed me to put another title on. And then when I needed another title, cut, and then that would allow me to put the next title in.
I didn't have to cut it like that. I was just able to
Oh.
drag the captions around.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So that might be a difference between the iPad and the computer.
Yeah, I was doing it on the computer.
Okay. And I've done all my movies I've done on the iPad.
This software is awesome.
You like it?
It's like it shows you the past pictures that you've taken,
Yeah.
so you can see the oh, this is, I like this a lot.
The kids, it's easy for kids to use. It's a great addition to your toolbox, and it works. You know, like I said, you can pull that movie then into green screen if you wanted to. But our kids, it just was a great way for them to show their learning too. With stop motion, it's just another way for student to amplify their student voice to show what they know. And
What grade level did you use this with?
that was with fourth, but I've done it with third and fifth. I don't teach the littles, but I think you could do it with first and second graders as well. You would just have to show them, you know, maybe they could do maybe like a fairy tale or something that they wanted to recreate with that. It's just kind of fun because you can go from 2D where they're just using paper. And we did it when a couple years ago, we did a huge iMovie with our fifth graders during their lunch recess. Anybody who wanted to come in during lunch recess could come in, and we incorporated stop motion and iMovie and green screen and all kinds of things. And it ended up being this enormous Apple project that we took to the Apple store and they sent to corporate and used it with their corporate. It was really, really fun. The kids loved it, but we took the 2D stop motion and went to 3D where they were traveling to space. So they built a rocket in their stop motion and had the rocket 3D and it blasted off. So stop motion, they took it, you know, split screen by having it lift up with just like we were talking about with green screen, with the string bringing it up, and then it traveled across the galaxy, you know, with their string across, you know, the rocket as they were going. I can't even explain all that they did with that movie, but it was kids that kind of just needed something to do besides recess. They were getting into trouble or they just didn't like recess or whatever. We had about 40 kids or so that would come in at any given work on that movie. And they created all kinds of great things between using apps with the stop motion, with green screen, with iMovie, all working together to app smash together. So, you know.
So one thing we were able to do when we were teaching iMovie, and it was with third graders, and so I always had a thing called a Rube Goldberg, whatever, event. And so I put kids in groups, which now that would be more challenging. So I would probably have individual kids, but it's when we were learning about simple machines. And so they needed to have a lever, a wedge, a wheel and axle, you know, all the different simple machines. And they would have to have 5 out of the 6 simple machines. They would have to have at least one video or at least two shots of when their machine did not work. They needed to have at least one shot of the machine working all the way through. They needed to introduce themselves. They needed to explain their machine and each part of it. And I had it just out in a list of these are all of the things you need to have in your video. And so they would each team had an iPad and they just videoed, and then they ended up needing to pick which were the most epic fails, which were the most amazing pieces. They needed to figure out how to videotape each other so that they weren't just getting elbows and shoulders. It ended up being incredible, the kind of work that they did. And I could see that in a distance learning situation where you need to make your own machine, which for a Rube Goldberg machine, it needed to be the most complicated way to accomplish a simple task. So like pouring cat food into a dish or squeezing toilet paper. So they would have a marble roll down, a ramp that knocked down dominoes that ended up pulling a string that ended up dropping whatever. And then pretty soon it was just enough that a heavy brick was on the edge and the brick would tip and smash the toothpaste out. But they would have to explain piece by piece by piece, and then they would make their videos. But they had, you know, exciting music when they thought it was going to work, and then they'd add, you know, the sound effect of kids booing or the sounds of crashing. And it really was fun to watch what third graders could do. I mean, it seemed like one whole day of trying to find fart sounds. But after they got past that stuff, it really was nice. And it was nice to see them come together. And then and then I smashed it all into one movie. So everybody had to have their piece done within like a 1 to 2 minute video. And then we put it all together with iMovie and then presented it to families, and they had their machines in the gym, where you know, if it were to be right now, you wouldn't be able to do that part. But it was fun to be able to send that out. We attached it to the website so that anybody could see what they did and they could share it with grandparents. And I think that's another thing that iMovie makes really nice. Whatever you want to do, whether you have stills or whether you have video, it is a way that it can be shared through your website or through emails, so that families, you know, all over the, really, I guess, all over the world, if you want to send it to your aunt in, you know, Zimbabwe, she can watch it from there. And it just feels like you could do everything. Every time I would run into something I wanted to do and I ran out of options for that video, all I had to do was save it, bring it back in as a video itself, and then I could just keep going with changing things.
So just a quick question, so I make sure I understand. You would have the students film each of the simple machines in action,
Right. Well,
and then that video, and then as well as the entire Rube Goldberg operation, and then they would splice all of that together to produce a video demonstrating their Rube Goldberg accomplishment.
Right. So
Okay.
what they did is they took probably hours of film and had to edit it down into a couple of minutes. So they would be saying, you know, this is a wedge. It serves a purpose of doing this. The marble is the wheel, you know, and all the different things. And this is who we are, and this is what our task is, and this is how we hope to accomplish it. And then, you know, they had, I think I gave them 3 feet by 5 feet. Their machine had to fit into that space. And so they would explain piece by piece what they hoped it would do and why they chose that. And then, you know, they run it and it didn't work. I mean, those darn things don't work 100 times before they work once. So then they just picked their their favorite parts.
Do you, by any chance, have like a write-up of that assignment that you would have given to students?
I don't know. I can look for it. You want me to
If you
send it?
did that, I would know that I would love to modify that to potentially use in my own classroom.
Well, there is a video called the group is OK Go.
Yeah.
It's called This Too Shall Pass. Their video, have you seen it?
I know they've done a lot of Rube Goldberg. I mean, there was one like 10 or 15 years ago that made them really famous, and they've just kept doing elaborate one-shot videos. I don't know that I've seen that one, but I know I have seen at least 2 of theirs.
I love them. I think
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help.
I think they say hell in it. And so I just try to make sure I'm still talking at that point, because it's pretty quick.
This sentence.
Stop already.
Jacob, did you know Salem Kaiser's hiring?
I have heard that. I haven't sent off any applications yet, but I will this week.
Awesome. There.
Is grammatically correct.
Skip that. So do you want to see the video?
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
So how do I need to share?
Share.
I know. I gotta find it. And up here.
And then probably after you share, we can start showing them the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
That way they have time to skip that.
All right, here it comes. So hell's in here somewhere, I think. Brace yourself. And that's not blood. Okay. Can you hear it? So when we watch this, So the simple task, am I on? So can you hear me? The simple task was to shoot paint, and that's how they accomplished it. So I don't ever have the words show up like that because it said right there, really big help. Stop, share. But anyway, when we watch it, we would yell incline plane, screw, lever, you know, those, all the different shapes or all the different simple machines that were used to accomplish that. So Jan's going to talk to us about how to load it, right? And she found Stop Motion Studio for free.
Yep, Google Play. It's not on the computer, so that was
Google Play?
It's on Google Play too, so it's not, so you can use that on Android, I would suspect, not just an iMovie or iOS device.
Flipgrid allows you to do stop motion.
Yes.
I don't know if that's available on a computer.
Flipgrid is, yes.
Okay, so that's great for stop motion too.
Flipgrid works great with Chromebooks.
Okay.
If you have Chromebooks for your students. It's another really awesome student voice amplifier, you know, that gives them some choice about how they can do things. They can describe all their learning back to you with the video versus written. For some of our kids who are non-writers, it really helps them with that. You want me to show them my screen? You're going to walk us through, but I'm going to.
So do you all know, is everybody comfortable with how to save your video into your photos?
No. Teach us.
Can you give me the thumb thing if you're comfortable with?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
So do you feel comfortable saving your video into photos? Okay. So then if you go, and do you already know how to set up your own your own YouTube account? Oh, good. Okay.
Everybody has a YouTube channel already created? Penny? No? Do you know how to do it, Penny?
Yes, but I'm converting my videos into a Google link in the end.
Oh, sweet. Okay. And then
So
are you
it-
learning them
Mhm.
from your Google Classroom?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
It's
Okay.
easier to access for family and students.
Fantastic. Okay. So we might not need to do that.
So yeah, we had left some time to be able to create a YouTube station, channel for yourself. But if you already have that, we don't need to do that. We can move on. Is there anything else that we?
So
Could I show you my video really quickly again?
yeah.
Okay. I mean, my problems, technical.
Sweet.
Okay, share screen. So here I picked news project, and I was able just to import photos from my hard drive or my photos. But for some reason on the trailers, it won't, no matter what I do, there's nothing that lets me, like, so here I have all these on the other video, I was just able to drag and drop. There's no import anywhere on this version
It's down
that
below.
I can see.
It looks like it's down below here at the bottom. It says last event library, and then I can't.
Yeah, if I click on that, all it does is open my Macintosh hard drive and then do nothing. So.
And I can't see.
And you've already tried dragging them down into the.
From your desktop or from.
Just from
Yeah,
above.
it only wants me to. Yeah, there is no event library. I don't even know what this last import is. As you can see, there's no pictures.
Sarah, at the bottom of your screen, there was something, I can't see it now. Yeah, okay, I saw it for a minute, and then I didn't see it.
If I close you guys, if I move you guys,
Let's see.
Favorites and unmarked.
Okay. All clip. Can you click on all clips? And nothing.
What about from above?
Yeah. From like your
Those pull
file.
down?
So as long as I don't pick movie trailer, like let's just click film strip, right? Then I can do this. And I don't know. So there's just something wrong with movie trailer on my version.
It probably needs to be updated.
Oh, I tried that. It just sat there spinning. So
This isn't compatible with the new one. I wonder.
yeah, I'm running a very old, I don't know, since they started, I want to stop sharing. I don't know how. You guys can't see my screen anymore, right?
Right.
Okay. It just did that automatically. I forgot where I was.
So you were talking about not being able to pull down.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping at least, because the editing would be easier on the computer, that I could, just export from my iPad to, I know. I was just complaining that since they started naming them, I could kind of remember what the name of the OS was when it was animals, but now that it's like Sierra and Cascade, and I have no idea what I'm running, because I to name them just stupid names is just annoying. Why can't they just name it 10.1 like it used to be, or 10.3,
So what trailer kind were you trying to do?
I tried all the trailers on my Mac movie, all the movie trailers
Okay.
on my computer, and none of them would let me import pictures, but no problem on the iPad. So
Okay. That's just crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the iPad 100 times over the computer.
Yeah. So, and I made a Weebly one like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I couldn't reaccess it. So, but that I mean, it's almost exactly the same as iMovie. So, I wanted to play that one for you guys, but you know, they only store them on their servers for so long.
Oh, okay. So
And I guess I didn't. It was at SuperQuest like 4 years ago, and I guess I didn't. I had a very old iPad too at that point, and it had no memory, so I guess I didn't download it. So
okay.
sorry, my dogs barked earlier. I didn't realize that I had the microphone on.
That's totally fine. I got my puppy. She's super cute.
Show us her.
What
No.
kind?
Golden, a little golden retriever. Her name's Sprocket.
She's very.
Oh, you were talking about this one last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
My parents'
Okay,
dog is
I
actually
share my bad
birth
news,
to
I can
puppies.
share my good news. Yeah. So we have done, this is what we were planning on doing. Do you want to talk about ideas or things that you teach that you would be struggling with how to do it online that are easy to teach in the classroom?
I'm curious what age level you guys think this could go down to. Third?
I did very easily with third.
You think first?
If you're using an iPad, you just basic. You're talking very, very basic. Green screen. Like I said, like retell story.
Uh-huh.
But I've seen first grade do stop motion for sure.
Well, I was thinking we last year we had kids make. Have you heard of Book Creator?
Yeah, I love Book Creator.
Super duper simple,
Yep.
but I was thinking of them. You know, one of the activities was, okay, go take a picture. We have 10 pictures around the room of the Revolutionary War. Go take a picture of one and add a sentence to this. Show me that you know what's taking place in this picture. Instead of that, have them take a picture of one of those 10 pictures, and instead of writing it, go film yourself. Then over here, we've got a couple blue or green screens. Go film yourself explaining what's happening here, or put yourself in the situation and then make that video.
I've heard
Awesome.
first grade, it could be just go find a square, or a cube. If you do it,
It could, yes, it could be anything, but same idea of
yeah.
capture content and put yourself in that content.
Yep.
And I can even see it when Janice, when you mentioned about having like Lego castles on Fridays, the kids could play with Legos and they could play with bricks and they could build whatever. The kids loved taking photos of what they made.
Yes.
And right now I can see those kids filming themselves in their castle being like, oh, look at all the rooms in here or something like that. So I think that could be super fun.
Well, and you can take like the straws Jan was talking about, green straws. You can take tongue depressors and color them with a marker to make them green, and cut out the people in the play that are, a story that you just read. If it's about a little boy and a dog, you can make a little boy and a dog and have them, retell the story or make a play of their storybook that they just read, or George Washington going over the river.
Uh-huh.
They could put numbers on it and do math problems for that matter, and then, it's just getting them, you have to teach them the basics of how to do the stop motion or how to film the green screen, and it's a little trickier with virtual, but if, with Chromebooks, they have access to a camera, they can video, they can do stills, so they can do that type of thing. And I don't know if stop motion is for Chromebook. I know it's not for, there's a free trial on the Mac, but I'm not sure about Chromebook. But stop motion, if your students have access to a phone, it might be on iOS phone too, or the Google Android, Google app. So,
Kara, do you have something?
Yeah, so, and it might be a little, Penny seems to so far figured out how to teach her math. But if I'm teaching math or chemistry or physics, I need to work a problem. And so I want to know, okay, my computer keeps freezing. So we're just going to close that video. All right. Okay. So I want to know, I've been imagining that I know how to screen record on the iPad. But how would you suggest that? Of course, I could get a camera and buy a whiteboard and do that, but I would like to do it digitally where I'm writing on something and they can see it.
Jamboard.
Jamboard?
It's an add-on. Google Meet is going to be incorporating that in theirs. Jamboard's an interactive whiteboard.
Okay.
That a lot of people used last spring. So that's one. So and there's other ones too, and I can't remember what they are. If you look at extensions or add-ons, I think that's an extension, Jamboard.
So you would have to be using Google Meet.
I don't think so. I think Zoom has a version, something, Jamboard is, but I don't know for sure. There might be just, I don't use Zoom with my students. We have to use Google Meet. That's just our district banned Zoom when there was all the trouble that Zoom had.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't answer.
Oh, well, here, let me try something.
There you go.
So that's Zoom whiteboard.
That's it.
So if I get the iPencil, it'll be, but it would be nice to have, how do I stop share? Okay. It would be nice to have me, because I don't know if you've ever seen, any of the videos where someone's teaching and you can see them at the same time. Do you know how to do that?
With, well, Screencastify definitely can do that, where you have your picture, have your webcam on while you're doing, but that's like you pre-record it. You might be able to do that while you're teaching live, have Screencastify on.
Well, I actually want to do videos, I think.
Oh, well, Screencastify could do it. And if you could do 5-minute videos right for the free version. If you want a longer version, you would have to do the upgraded. But a lot of districts are purchasing that for their teachers. I don't know, are you a Google district? Are you a Canvas district? I know Canvas.
I'm a nobody.
Okay.
Kara, you can also write in and you can open up a Zoom video with yourself. And that's actually what I've done with a lot of videos. And you can keep your video on and share your screen, and your video is on that screen. Like I've done a lot of my readouts that way. I'll have an e-version of a book, and I'll open up a Zoom, and I will put the cursor on and follow the cursor along the text as I read it and record for the students.
Okay.
And Zoom is free, and it doesn't have that 5-minute stipulation.
Because actually some job interviews actually said record a Zoom video of yourself teaching. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So I just make a Zoom video with myself. Okay.
Yeah, you just open up a Zoom meeting with yourself and then record it.
Okay. Well, then I can just use my iPad and it'll be awesome. So, okay. Well,
you can record yourself on iMovie and then you can turn the sound down, and then you can go back and record sound over the top. So if you're solving a problem, then you can pick out, like when you make a mistake, you can edit that and cut it out. And then you can add audio to it.
So you're saying I could screen record my whole thing, put that into iMovie.
And then edit it.
And then edit. Okay.
But the mistakes are the best part. So I guess that's
I was just going to say, we never edit out mistakes in math.
But Carrie, I have the same questions that you do, like with math and the class that I was taking at Stanford University over the summer. And so much goes into the collaboration. Like the way I solve a problem is different than the way you do, but we both get to the answer. And then communicating how I did it, and then you telling me how you did it. And then we both, you know, being able to confirm and justify and defend and understand how the other person did it. I don't see how that's going to happen with video conferencing. Like, I feel overwhelmed with trying to teach math to the standard that I would like for students to be having that conversation about what they're doing.
So would you be able to give everybody an assignment, the same problem, like you've taught a concept, you've worked on it together, and it's kind of that evaluation piece where you give them that last problem, and have each student videotape themselves solving the problem and explaining it, and then putting that together?
Yeah, maybe that would work, Stacy. I wonder, yeah, that would maybe help. I mean, but I think part of it is that conversation going back and forth. Like me saying, Kara, I don't understand what you did there. And Kara being able to explain her work. And then me saying, oh, so you were thinking this. And just having that conversation and that collaboration as we solve the problems together.
Are you planning on having meetings with small groups and whole groups?
Yes, the whole groups are going to be very quick, and it's just really hard for me to manage whole group. But so I'm planning to have 1 or 2 students at a time, staggered throughout the day.
And I would imagine if those guys were to make a video and you could watch that child's video together as the group of 3 of you or the group of 4 of you, and then ask questions, and that person can go back to, you know, at 30 seconds, I don't understand, you know, what happened right there, and they can go back and say, well, whatever, you know, provide their justification, or say, oh, you know, I added and I was supposed to subtract, you know, where you get that kind of conversation.
That's a good idea.
Unfortunately, I'm having a little of, I can't remember what I Googled, but a couple of, I like to draw in my classes a lot, have them express concepts, kind of group draw. And so I believe I Googled some kind of group drawing programs because I thought about this. How are we gonna virtually draw together on the same whiteboard? And I know I found a program and I was thinking that might work for your math thing of you could just all open up a group draw and everybody would be working on their math at the same time. Again, maybe the explaining might have to come later. I don't know if group draw, if you can be talking. And I'm sorry, I don't know what the name of the program I found was. So I guess I'm having the same problem is if I ask them to, I mean, I guess we'd be on a Zoom meeting and then I'd say, okay, everybody go open this program and we're going to work on this problem so that we can see everybody's work, but I don't know if that's going to work.
So there is a way to draw on the screen in Zoom. That ended up being a real problem with a couple of my teachers because the kids that figured out then just started drawing all over the place. And they had a really hard time figuring out who was drawing.
Well, actually, what would happen right now if we all did share content and went to the whiteboard and draw something?
Let's try
So
it.
I think the meeting is set up right now. I may have to change. I think it's set up for 1 at a time to share the screen. But okay, now we're at multiple participants can share at the same time. Ready?
Yep.
So what do we do? We share screen, see?
And so if I wanted to share my screen, I would have to do the same.
Are we on the
I
same?
only see my screen.
So who wrote Guten Tag?
That was me, Cara.
Okay.
Okay, there's Jacob.
Okay, so here's what you've got to do. You've got to go and there. Actually,
Sorry, I wrote so big.
Disappeared from mine, but there's the option to annotate. And I
So where-
believe,
Oh, but we have to share screen.
Yes.
yes, up at share screen,
I see it. Yep.
there's like a little arrow.
Uh-oh,
or
but
a
now I'm
drop-down
sharing. But now I'm sharing this instead of. What happened?
Are we sharing the same desktop screen? I'm not sure where we are.
Well, I can see Jacob
If-
writing on mine. Okay, now Oregon CST. So
So where are you going to get to the shared screen that you're writing
Yeah.
on?
I
go to
don't-
whiteboards. So go to share screen and then whiteboard.
Oh,
I did do that and it didn't.
Well, I think we're all writing on Kara's screen right now, right?
Correct.
Kara's screen.
I can't even get, how did you get there?
except for my screen is blank when I went to share.
But when I click on whiteboard, it becomes a
Penny,
blank.
you're sharing your own screen.
Do I share my own screen or share
You
Okay.
have to share your own screen. Yeah.
your desktop? Is that what you're doing?
I think we're all supposed to be writing on one person's screen.
That's what I would like to do.
Right. Jacob?
Okay, and three of us are writing on the same whiteboard.
How did you guys do that though?
Okay, Jacob, do you want to share your whiteboard and then see if we can all get onto it?
Yes.
Or
Explain
maybe
how you're doing it this
So-
way.
So
or maybe we should do a desktop person. Share the whiteboard.
I'm on a desktop.
Oh, okay.
So I can share a whiteboard.
Okay.
I'm now doing.
Okay, and then how are other people writing on it?
And then
So-
I click pen.
view options. Do you have view options? View options goes down
I
to
do.
annotate.
Okay, there we go. Got it.
And now we have all kinds of things. Oh, I'm gonna stamp stuff.
Oh. Is everybody seeing this though?
Yes.
Well, if you're seeing it, we're seeing it. So I see some
Who put in the
stars over here.
stars?
Me. They're stamped.
Hi, Jacob.
Oh.
So
Kara.
I can see where this would be awesome, but you would really have to train the kids.
Well, talk about Zoom bombing.
Yeah. When kids like me, you're gonna want to explain it way before you tell me how to get in there.
Yeah.
All right, just trying out the different options. How'd you get the stars in there?
That's a stamp.
Okay. Oh,
So there are like check marks and stars and hearts.
Oh, look.
oh,
and
that
if you-
must be a desktop thing. I don't think my iPad has that.
So do you see where, does it, like I have, there's an X that you close, a mouse, text, draw, stamp with the question. I mean, it's probably on question mark because that's what I picked. You don't have it?
No, I just have pen, highlighter, line, arrow, rectangle. So I can make arrows.
Can you make your arrows stay? There, okay. No.
How did Kara? How did you make that arrow drag?
There's an
Oh,
arrow.
you just hold an, let's pick an arrow. I want to change my color. So, okay, arrow. You just drag it. So if you want a short arrow, you just,
And this is one of the
Woo.
stamps?
Huh?
This
No,
is a stamp?
under arrow. It's right to the right of stamp. How do you get yours to
I have
drag?
spot.
Arrow.
Oh, under
Not
spotlight. No.
my arrow is to the right of line.
I don't see that arrow is dragging either one of them.
So
Oh.
you are dragging your arrow and I cannot drag my arrow.
There you go.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You dragged your arrow, right? I don't know who's the green arrow.
Yeah, that's me. I
Okay.
dragged the arrow. We should all. Oh, here's one thing we should do. We should all have our own color.
If you
Right,
draw-
that's
why I
how- keep track of who's doing what. If we say, okay, Jacob, you're red, and so forth.
Yeah. I'm gonna clear all drawings.
Okay. Oh, so that's good. We learned clear all drawing.
Okay, I'll be red.
So only,
Okay.
now I have a question, Jacob, because you started that, you were able to clear it, or can anybody clear it?
I don't know. See if I know that you should be able to clear your own drawings.
I just cleared it.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait, let's all draw something and see if someone else can clear the whole screen.
So my choice is clear all drawings or clear my drawings.
So
Oh.
Stacy, will you do that? Clear all drawings?
green. Well, I'm going to try to see if I can clear just the green arrow. So
Okay.
that's clear my drawing.
Okay.
And now I'll go back and you're ready for clear all drawings?
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, this is the real problem with Zoom, I think, when it comes to like little kids, is
Right.
or just anyone who wants to bother the class can just in a heartbeat destroy everything.
But
So-
Jacob, I could not clear all.
I
So
can't
think
clear all either.
someone
It's
starts the whiteboard.
So,
because
this-
Stacy
whiteboard?
is the creator of the Zoom.
So Jacob, is this your whiteboard?
Yes, it's my whiteboard. I'm
I'm gonna
sharing.
make. Okay,
So-
everybody make a drawing. Let me see if I can clear Jacob's whiteboard.
There we go.
I'm clearing, I'm adding stuff. Just
Okay.
Not just yours.
Right.
Okay, go ahead and clear.
Okay, so it just cleared mine.
Right. So Jacob, now clear all.
Okay.
So it doesn't look like the kids can clear unless they're on Chromebooks.
Well, here's the thing. I can clear viewers' drawings, so I can leave up mine and
Ah,
clear all of yours.
So it's whoever starts the whiteboard has control of that.
And it must also be whoever's in charge of whoever starts the meeting.
Right.
So like the meeting's under my name, so I can clear everything.
So
You and Jacob
will you
do
do
it.
that right now, Stacy?
Yeah. So I have clear all drawings.
okay.
Perfect. Do you also have clear viewers' drawings, or do you only have
did.
2 options?
Just 2. And I
Okay.
think it might make sense if I were the teacher. I think I would ask kids to type their name in the corner with a different color.
Hmm.
So if I type Stacy, then we all know that Stacy's in yellow.
Mhm.
And then if everybody just typed, if that's what we did when we started, I think that would help us know who's messing around.
And unfortunately, we're limited to 15 colors. So this is only going to really
I can't
work
type.
in
I don't have
breakouts.
a type option, but
Okay.
but I can write my name and then we could do 2 + 2 = 5. And we can
Right.
talk about that mistake.
Awesome. And then this can be saved. So I think it would really help. I think, Jacob, your idea of each person having their own color would really help. And I think probably in a room of more than 15 kids, the colors are going to be so close to each other. I don't think it would be so helpful. But if you did, kids worked in groups of
Partners.
3s, you know, that this team is using green, this team's using blue.
It'd be
And
great for breakout rooms though, when you're working with
Mhm.
small groups. Or small groups.
And you could just come in and quickly see. I love the idea of us putting it up in the corner here. So you as the teacher could come into this breakout room and see, okay, so I see a lot of work from,
Yeah.
Stacy, and not so much from Kara, like, so you can see participation. That'd be cool.
so the breakout rooms on Zoom, you have to have a paid account. So you don't have the option of breakout rooms.
I think Google's gonna do that too. They made their suite much nicer this year, but they're also charging for it.
So I'm going to clear it for a second. So if we divided a screen into 4 parts and we assigned groups, kids were assigned somehow, and they had their section of this board to work on, and you gave a problem and they needed to solve the math problem or draw a picture of this problem. 3 monkeys went to the store, I don't know, from their house, and 2 monkeys came from the park. How many monkeys were there all together? They would need to find a way to represent that problem in their section.
That might work too, Stacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can see each other's thinking too.
Right.
So how did you guys draw from a desktop? So I'm trying to draw on the screen from my desktop now.
Use my mouse.
And I'm using my
Up at the top, remember?
board.
She's trying to figure out how to get on it.
Oh, how to be able to
Oh,
draw?
I have to. Oh, that's right. I have to go to whiteboard. Never mind. Thank you. All right.
So this looks like it really could be quite powerful, interactive, you know, with kids interacting with each other. And if we use text, I think it's going to make it, so our text options, where to go?
Okay, so the text, yeah.
Size. Format, okay, format will tell you what size you're writing in and whether it's bold or whatever. And then you can write your problem, I thought. Let's do it. 2, there it is. So I think as a teacher, you can go in and write 2 + 2 equals, and this is this group's assignment, and then this group's assignment over here is, you know, 5 × 800 equals, and this, you know what I mean, where you can just throw out problems that kids, and they need to start solving their problems in the corner.
So they would write their name up here.
Uh-huh.
See, I can't write on your guys's anymore.
Up at the top.
So what do you see
Oh,
at the
I can from my iPad, but not my desktop. My desktop, I was lonely by myself.
So I'm doing mine on a laptop, and it is letting me participate here.
Is the thought that each kid would write it themselves?
Well, I could see either like group things, you know, like 4 kids, and I bet we could, let's see if I can do this. I bet we could make the corner more like this, the red group, or like this would be, can I fill it? How do I?
And produce a code. I'm curious. Oh, so under draw, it's the square or the circle with dots inside of it.
Okay,
That's a light fill color.
there you go. So if this, you know, if we had a green team, if kids were assigned to a green team and kids were assigned to a yellow team, and so however many kids it is, like if I had 3 kids assigned to each color, then you would go to your color, put your name. So I would not want a green kid to use green ink. Well, yeah. But if they knew what they were assigned to, and then they just got in and did that, or all 4 problems can be assigned to everybody, and they could just pop in and do their work there. I'm just not sure if there's enough space in that for a whole bunch of kids to participate.
Yeah, I can't see more than like 5.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
So Stacy, how did you get it, or Jacob, how did you get that we all could write on your whiteboard? What I
think
remember
it
you
was
said you had to
simply by-
click something.
I think it's simply by opening a whiteboard, you give it.
No. Carrie, you're going to go up to the top where it says you are viewing Jacob's screen, and to the right is view options. And if you click on view options, you can annotate.
Oh, and I can.
Oh, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. See, now Cara can type text. Okay.
Also, can you guys?
It's so
see-
different on the iPad versus the computer.
I know, and it's hard to remember what to do. I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I just added something. Can you guys see the menu that I have? This where I'm hovered over disable attendee annotations.
No.
Okay, so it looks like that's only me who can see that. If I go into the Zoom menu where it says mute, stop video, the number of participants, sharing, pause sharing, whiteboard, remote control, and then there's the more button, the ellipses. If I click more, I can show the names of the annotators as they're making their annotations.
Okay, so like on a Google form, how it says who's writing what?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that is awesome.
However, that doesn't stay up. So like all the 64, my name, it doesn't remain after I've written, but initially as you're typing or as you're drawing, it will show, because I just saw Kara, as you were typing, Kara can type text. It said above it there's a black background and then white lettering that said Kara,
Okay.
Kara's computer, because that's what you're labeled as.
And then what about Jacob? Once people have posted, can you tell who posted what?
Only if those people do like what I did up here in the
Okay.
corner, where they write their name and use the same color
Okay.
throughout. But so far, I'm not seeing that ability.
Okay.
Oh no, Carrie, you're adding those.
Yeah, I just was trying to stamp.
No, that's cool.
And you're stamping in Jacob's corner.
Yeah.
Well, I was saying thank you for showing us, Jacob. So heart.
And it looks like I can, okay, so I can delete things that you have added.
Because it's your whiteboard.
Right.
And I'm looking at this, and it looks like can you guys see that I'm
Oh yeah, it says
selecting
that.
something?
Yep, it says that I typed that.
Okay, so if you go to the select, which is the four-way, the compass rose arrow key or arrow icon.
Oh, but we don't. I can't do that. Only.
Starter of that whiteboard.
Yeah.
So a teacher needs to start the whiteboard.
Okay,
Okay.
but can you guys see select?
No.
No, we
I only
don't have
mouse.
that. Mm-mm.
It's not to the left of text.
No. Only
have
have draw.
mouse.
Okay. Well, okay. So the teacher then, yes, can see who typed what if I click it.
Nice.
But what's interesting, Jacob, is in this situation, I would be the teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
Because the meeting is run through me and I don't have that option because I didn't share the whiteboard.
So you got to start the whiteboard as a teacher.
So the teacher's going to have to start that whiteboard.
Okay. Well, at least that simplifies things.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of cool to have kids be able to share too when you want them to.
Well, I think kids could share, you just wouldn't be able to tell who did what. Which annotations.
Okay.
So I think theoretically kids can share their own screen. So they could create their own whiteboards that kids could work on, other students could work on.
Because Jacob just did it.
Yeah, but it sounds like you as the teacher would not be able to necessarily see who did what, which could be disruptive because someone could draw or write something obscene and
Right.
and then you as a teacher would not be able to tell who. However, the person who
That's the
created
problem
the board
my
would.
teachers were having last year.
So you guys use Zoom.
Yeah, but we used Zoom just immediately jumping in and learning. I mean, the learning curve was crazy.
Yeah.
And you've got all these kids and you have never established your norms for doing these meetings. And really, the first few times you've got to establish those norms and be able to, give your warning and then have somebody close out, take somebody out of the meeting and send an email to a parent, just letting them know that something didn't work out. You need to have your procedures, where before we were just trying to connect with kids and we were trying to be positive and see that they were okay and offer all these great opportunities. But now we're looking at grading kids. And the responsibility of a teacher to make sure that there isn't a child disrupting the learning. I mean, the same thing as a classroom, that if you have a kid just going nuts running around the room writing on everybody's papers, you can't have that. And this is a way that somebody could actually be doing that. So if the teacher's sharing the whiteboard, then everybody sees who's writing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see
I didn't
my
get
name.
that. Could you try again?
Oh, sorry. Apparently I'm talking to Siri.
Yeah, when somebody else is typing, it says Penny's doing this, Stacy's doing this, Jacob's doing this. But then once we stop, like right now it says Oregon SCSTA, but once we stop, it goes away. So that's why I like that we make boxes and say this is Kara's drawing.
Yeah.
Okay, the hearts don't say who's doing it.
Okay, so the stamps.
That's me.
Oh.
I'm checking to see the color, how the colors change if I have a faded colored background, like I added that square or the rectangle, the red rectangle. And I wanted to see how that changed the color of the stamps. Obviously red doesn't look like it changes much, but the yellow stars, golden stars look like they do.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just had a question about Zoom stuff. Let me think about it. Oh, Stacy.
Yeah.
Were teachers asked to, or will they be asked to record their Zoom sessions with their students?
Yeah, and so to me, and it's a lot because I don't like being on these things, I would really be uncomfortable just like what we're doing. Here we're doing this class and it's getting recorded, and then there are all kinds of things I say or do that I would like to cut out before it goes online at the CSTA site. And so with our teachers, they'll go ahead and have it live and they'll record it. And then I'm asking them to leave it open for a while. So while kids are working on their math, they still have access to their teacher and they can ask questions and still be a part of the classroom group.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think what I'm going to ask the teachers to do is probably to cut out some of that so that their film is not as long. And I want to give them the freedom if there's something that they really didn't feel comfortable with being on there, then I'd like to have them, save it, pop it into iMovie, and then make whatever modifications they would like to make, whether they want to type in titles or, sometimes you just feel so boring without music, so they could put a little music under there, or whatever, however they want to change it, and then load it up to we have a program that has grades and all these different features that you can load onto.
So your district do you get permission at the beginning of the year to record all the students? Because in the public schools, we're not supposed to record students.
I think that there's going to be some different expectations now because of
all the digital learning. Okay.
I think because they're asking for asynchronous learning and synchronous learning both, and so giving those kids the same experience that aren't live with you, it's going to be tricky, so.
And one of the things that I've heard that is going to be challenging, and again, to me, iMovie's going to save it, is that if a child has if you have a child who's on an IEP for behavior reasons or for something that becomes obvious if you're watching them on a video, and if they end up having a problem, then there's that whole privacy thing. So you really are going to need to take that out before you post it so that families don't have access to seeing somebody having trouble. So I think that's one of the things that has come out, is that if a child's having a problem and everybody gets to watch a tantrum, that's not very fair.
Yeah.
So there's another place where, being able to modify. For me, if I were walking around and all you saw was my rear end, I would want to change that. So, if I get really comfortable and forget that I'm being recorded, I would like to have a chance to not have my rear end broadcasted.
Now I'm wondering, for kids that are shy, I noticed Penny kind of has herself darkened out today, and I was wondering how she accomplished that.
I think just the lighting, the windows, the shades are up.
Okay. Because I could see that making kids more comfortable, that they're there, but they're not.
Yeah.
We also have kids who are homeless and that are
Yes.
drive to a hot spot area where they can get their hot spot to work, and we don't want them having to film
Right.
while
That they're at McDonald's, which I did during my first 3 months of MAT.
There you go. Well, and what we can do is if we are teaching them to look at the reactions and you have a check-in time or a roll call time or, you know, where everybody needs to. So like both Cara and I have like a blackened screen that just has our name. And if that was the only showing that we had of ourselves, I think, so let's see, if I do the thumbs up, doesn't that show up on my, yeah, let's do thumbs up.
Yep, it shows up on your picture.
So then you can have kids check in and they don't have to have their camera showing. And so that way, you know, if they're with you or if they, you know, turned their screen black and went and played outside.
Right.
Oddly enough, my iPad will only show thumbs up or clap, even though I do have the crying emoji.
I think Stacy has to, because she started the meeting, she has to allow which emojis you can use.
Okay.
But it's nice to give kids a chance to either verbally call out that they get something or they don't get something, to have a chance to share their screen, to show what they're doing, to show their work, like if they want to just hold it up and show their work. And then for people like me who don't want to be on the screen, we have a chance to show you we're there without having to show you our face.
Real quick, this is a total jump back to Janice, what you and Kara were talking about earlier. What was the name of the services that you could record yourself writing on a whiteboard?
Screencastify, and you can do a Jamboard is a whiteboard extension, but Screencastify, you can record, it can have you in the picture plus your screen. So you can have recording your desktop, but you can also have yourself in the video too, like a picture in a picture. So you could be describing it. It's the way I taught a lot last spring, because my kids needed to see my face as much as I would rather have them just heard my voice. I would have, you know, my screen, the picture of me, it was little, you know, like the picture in picture, but they could see my desktop and I could be explaining with my, you know, desktop and my mouse while they could see me at the same time.
Okay.
So we have two people that just popped in. One is Kathy, who you've seen each time. And then T. Smith is also here. So did you guys want to talk to the group?
Should we stop? Yeah. Okay. Hi, T.
Hello. Hey, welcome. I guess I'm the one that should be welcomed into this wonderful scenario. I hesitated a little bit at the beginning because Kathy usually is the one who jumps in and starts talking right away. And she's muted right now, so we're safe. No, we do have a lot of fun leading the Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association. Just wanted to just send out a message and not spend too much time, because I know what I have to say is not nearly as important as questions Jacob has or others of you and the answers related. But I wanted to communicate to you, I and Kathy and Jacob too, and Stacy and Jan are leaders of the Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association. I wanted you to know that we are a significant organization, only significant as you make it for yourself. Our only mission is to bring students for student success. And we do that through teachers training teachers, and you're experiencing that here. So glad that you were able to make this PD session. And so the Oregon Computer Science Teachers Association has been around a long time. We provide professional development for teachers. And again, our only mission is for student success. That said, we invite you to be involved in all the PDs that we have. And then beyond that, you know, I guess I can speak for Jan and Stacy because I know them well enough now to know that they will answer your questions. They will mentor you. They will be your partner as you also move towards what's the unsure scenarios that we face this fall and possibly every fall. But this is a lot different.
Not every fall. This is it.
You know, we learn from each other. We've had some great conversations today with this group of people. It's been nice to hear how they problem solve for this distance learning as well.
So I think that's the beauty of this, the birds of a feather. It's networking, it's sharing. It's because no one has all the answers. And might be that Stacy and Janice have a few more than the rest of us, and that's why you're listening to them, but you're also sharing out. But I'd like to challenge you to flip the script on this, because I teach full-time computer science at Sherwood High School, and I have for 41 years. And so every year it's kind of exciting to get back to see the students. But this year is different for me. I posted a question to my administrator, or at least I did it in my dreams. Should I be retiring tomorrow? And so, you know, we face this a little bit with fear and trembling. And what I want to challenge you to do is flip that script a little bit, because you're you spending these 3 sessions with these wonderful presenters could give you a chance to actually be the leader in your district, to not just survive, but to thrive in your teaching and learning environment, to be the go-to person in your district, to help your peers bring your students in the online learning or hybrid to even a better understanding, or possibly equal to if we were in the classroom face to face. Now, there's a lot of challenges with not being there. We came to this business to actually tap on the shoulder of our students and look them in the eye, to inspire them to become great learners and great people. And we are here to figure out a way to do that without having that physical contact and that presence. And while I'm very discouraged that I'm not going to be able to do that, I think our survival in this business is being able to flip the script and say, can we really do this equal to, or maybe even better, and be the leader in this environment? So I'm going to challenge you to try to flip the script. It will be discouraging and frustrating, and you're going to have a lot of questions. I do as well. And I've been in this business a long time, and it is true. Should I retire? I could, and I won't, because I keep seeing those students that maybe can get some inspiration about and skill sets that I can deliver. So no, I'm not going to retire, but I am going to try to flip the script on my own attitude and my own approach, so that my students will thrive. And I know you're doing the same. Period. I'm done. Kathy, did I do okay?
So I get that whole "I'm not retiring this year" speech every year for 10 years. So
Yeah, you did.
just saying, some of us stop listening. Is it at 42 though? I'm thinking, this is 42 coming up.
Well, it is, but we don't want to dwell on that, because I need to take a nap if I do.
That